Hi everyone, a very good morning to all of you. So I can see a lot of you have already joined the session. Hi guys, this is Gayatri here. Let's start today's session. So as you all know, today we are going to be doing a session on simplifications and approximations. Okay, as you all know, simplification and approximation is one topic which you should be very good, right, in for writing any aptitude exam, even bank exam or any other exam. Because why is that? Because whenever it's an aptitude exam, it involves a lot of calculations, right? So how good your calculation decides how well you perform in the test. So this is one topic which you will require in all type of aptitude exam, be it bank exams or any other exams for that matter. So today what we are going to be doing is, we will see with respect to bank exams, we will see what are the very basic concepts of the simplification and approximations that you should know, okay, to solve questions from this topic. And then we will solve one or two questions from these concepts, and then we will go about solving questions. Right? And all the questions that we have chosen for today's session are questions which have been previously asked in bank exams, so that this will help your preparation and help you boost your scores, right? So that is how we are going to be, we have scheduled the session for today. Okay, now coming to simplifications. Now what is the first thing that you should know, right? See, what is the first most important thing that we should have to do well in this section? It is our calculation speed. You should be very good in calculations to solve questions from this topic. For example, if we take bank exams, at least 5 questions come from the section of simplifications and approximations. Now, how do I improve my calculation speed? That is one query which all of us have and all students tend to ask us. How do I improve my calculation speed? See, the first and the most basic thing that you should do to improve your calculation speed is to practice additions and subtractions. Sounds very silly, right? Addition and subtraction. Why do I practice addition and subtraction? See, what we should understand is that simplification is nothing but there are some operations which are done on numbers, right? Either addition, subtraction, multiplication or division, or with decimals, there are same operations are being done, right? And the base for everything is going to be addition and subtraction. So how well you are able to do your addition and subtraction will decide at what speed you can calculate. Okay, so let me share my screen with you, and we will start as to how do you do addition and subtraction differently. See, most of these stuff what we are discussing is already available in the video lessons for you, but this is kind of a refresher session for you all, right, to help you prepare better. So let me share my screen. So let us take a very basic example, okay? As we were discussing about additions and subtraction, see, let us take a very basic example. Okay, 78 plus 46. Generally, how do you add this? 78 plus 46, you write 78 plus 46, then we do 8 plus 6 is 14, 1 carry over, correct? 7 plus 4 is 11, plus 1 is 12. So even if we, at times what we do is, when we try to calculate this in our mind, we do it in the same fashion, right? 8 plus 6 is 14, so 1 carry, we make this calculation in our mind. No, that's not how we should do it, right? To improve your speed, the best way to solve it would be to see 78 plus 46 means, you know what is 78 plus 40. What is 78 plus 40? 7 plus 4 is 11. So 78 plus 40 is going to be 118, correct? So 118 plus 6 is going to be 124. So that's the way you should calculate. Okay, see, we will all get the answer as 124. It's a very easy question, but the point that I'm trying to make here is the way in which you calculate, right? See, 78 plus 40 is very easy, correct? In 1 second you can say it is 118 plus 6. So if you split it down like this in your mind, it becomes easier to calculate, correct? Or somebody says 80 plus 50 minus 6. Say, similarly, splitting, he has splitted it in a different form. Correct. Now let us take similar, you take 3-digit numbers. When you are calculating 3-digit numbers, again 481 plus 252. So if this was the calculation, so what will you do? See, what you can do is 481 plus 200 is going to be 681, correct? 4 plus 2 is 6. So 681 plus 50. 8 plus 5 is 13. So that is going to be 731, correct? Plus 2. So 733, correct? So this is the easier way or the smarter way to improve your calculations. So this you will not get it unless you keep practicing it again and again, Okay, I hope the explanation that I gave for this was clear. See, if it is 481, you do 481 plus 200 in the mind, so you know that is 681. Now again 681 plus 50, if you do, again do it in your mind, no need to write it down. I am just writing it down so that it is clear for everybody what we have done. So that is going to be 731, correct? Again 731 plus 2 will give us 733. So that's how you go about solving the question. Same method you follow for subtraction. So if you are able to do this, the calculation will drastically improve, the speed will improve, and this calculation, right, this what you do in mind, the way in which you split, that you will not get it in a day, and you have to keep practicing it. Keep practicing additions and subtractions regularly, and let's say like in 15-20 days you would start mastering it. Okay, now moving on to the session, the first and the foremost concept, okay, that you should be very good in simplifications and approximations is the BODMAS rule. The BODMAS rule states that what is the expansion of BODMAS? BODMAS, that is brackets of division, multiplication, addition, subtraction. Correct? It basically gives you the precedence in which operations should be carried out when you are simplifying a given expression. Correct? So what does that mean? Like you are given an expression, in that if there is a bracket, that whatever is given inside the bracket has the maximum precedence, or that should be solved first. Then you go to the operations. If there is an off means it is again nothing but multiplication, go to that, then you do division, then multiplication, then addition and subtraction. See, BODMAS is at times also referred to as V BODMAS. What is V stands for? V stands for a vernaculum, which is a bar that is sometimes given under some numbers, which means that the numbers which come under this bar has to be solved first before anything else. Okay, I'll explain it to you. So let me share my screen. So this is the BODMAS rule, bracket of division, multiplication, addition and subtraction. Now what is this of? As we said, see, if it is 23% of 35, that is nothing but 23 by 100 into 35, correct? So that is what of means. Okay, so whenever in a question it is given, bracket has the highest precedence, followed by of, then division, multiplication, addition and subtraction. Generally addition and subtraction can have the same precedence. You can choose to do whichever operation that you want, because subtraction is nothing but again a type of addition, right? So if it is 8 minus 3, it is nothing but 8 plus minus 3. So addition and subtraction, more or less we can say they have the same precedence level, but this is the precedence level that you have to follow when a question is given. Now as I said, in a few questions there is something called as a vernaculum, or for example let me take a question, 5 minus 4 minus 1 bar, correct? Sometimes there is a bar that is given on top of a few numbers. Now this is called as a vernaculum. Okay, now whenever this is given, what we have to do is, while simplifying this expression, the first thing that you should simplify is what is given under this vernaculum. Okay, so here 4 minus 1 is 3, then you do what is 5 minus 3. Okay, ma'am, any sequence to follow if different types of brackets? See, different types of bracket means always solve the innermost brackets first. For example, generally innermost brackets will be circular brackets followed by these and then square, but even if that varies, whatever operations is there in the innermost bracket, solve that first, then come to the next set of brackets. That's the thing that you will have to keep in mind. Okay, spelling is VIRNACULUM. Vernaculum is a bar, that is sometimes it occurs on, it is given on top of some operations. Okay, that means first you have to solve whatever is there under this bar, then only you can move to the next. Basically this vernaculum has a precedence over the brackets also. So whatever is there under the vernaculum will be solved first, then you have to go to the brackets, then of, then division, like that. I hope the BODMAS rule is clear to all of you. Always keep the BODMAS rule in mind when you solve a question. Now let us solve 1 or 2 questions using this BODMAS rule and see. The first question is 4 squared into 9 squared divided by 324 minus 40 is equal to 2 to the power question mark. So how do we do it? See, again here there are no brackets. So the first operation that you have to do is the division. So what is it? It is 4 squared into 9 squared is 81, correct? 81 divided by root of 324. What is root of 324? 18, correct? 18 squared is 324 minus 40. 16 into 81 is 9. 9 divided by 2 minus 40, or I am just writing it as 16 into 9 divided by 2 minus 40. 72 minus 40, correct? 72 minus 40 is 32, or 32 is equal to 2 to the power 5. 2 to the power 5 is 32. So the answer for this question is 5. See, as I said, all the questions for today's session, we have chosen it from previous year bank exam papers. See, very easy question, right? Now let's move on to the next question. You guys give me the answer for the next question. As I said, this is here you have to use the BODMAS rule. Always use the operations properly. So here 8 squared is what? 8 squared is 64 into 49. Root of 196 is 14, correct? 14 minus 143. So here 7 will go, correct? 7 sevens are 49, 7 twos are 14. So 64 by 2, that is going to be 32. So 32 into 7 minus 143, that is equal to 224 minus 143, correct? Are you all getting it? Okay, everybody is getting the answer. So that is equal to 81, or this is equal to 3 to the power 4. So answer for this question is option 4. Everybody got the answer correctly. Excellent. So this is the basics. See, these are very basic questions which are asked from BODMAS. So let's move on to the next. Now the next most important thing in like when it comes to simplifications are the fractions, right? You get questions on fractions. What is a fraction? A fraction is something that is a part of a whole is called as a fraction, correct? Or how do I explain it? Like there is one cake, I am dividing the cake into 2 pieces. So each piece represents half, 1 by 2 of the full cake, correct? So that is a fraction. A piece of a whole is called as a fraction. Now there are mainly 3 types of fractions that you should all be having a very good idea about to solve questions from simplification. When the numerator is less than the denominator, then the fraction is called as a proper fraction. Similarly, when the numerator is greater than the denominator, it is called as an improper fraction. Now, a mixed fraction is a fraction wherein you have an integer followed by a proper fraction. So these are the 3 types of fractions that you should know. See, all the fractions are of the form p by q, where q is not equal to 0, correct? But a proper fraction is a fraction where I said as numerator is less than denominator. Improper fraction is where numerator is greater than the denominator, and mixed fraction is where you have an integer followed by a proper fraction. These 3 fractions you should know very well. See, there are also other fractions like equal fractions, unequal fractions, like fractions, but all these will not be generally required to solve questions on simplifications. So that's what I have just written down in the slide here. So see, these are examples of proper fractions, improper fractions and mixed fractions. Now the next important operation that you should know is how to convert a mixed fraction into an improper fraction. For example, if you have a fraction 1 by 3. See, this is the integer part and this is the proper fraction part. How do I convert this? 1 into 3. So the numerator of the improper fraction that I make from this will be 1 into 3 plus 1 divided by 3, correct? The integer into the denominator plus the numerator, that will be the new numerator, divided by the same denominator. So this will be equal to 3 plus 1, 4 by 3. So this is how you convert an improper fraction, a mixed fraction into an improper fraction. Now how do you actually get back the mixed fraction from this improper fraction? Very easy, no? When you do 4 divided by 3, 1 3 is 3, 4 minus 3 is 1. So that is nothing but 1 by 3. That is how we get back the mixed fraction. So these are very basics that you should know when you solve the question. So let's move on to the question now. See, a very basic question here. Mostly again, questions that come from fractions are either proper fractions or mixed fractions. In most of the exams, that's what we see nowadays. So for example, let us take this question, correct? These are mixed fractions. So how do we actually go about solving this question? How we usually do will be convert each mixed fractions to improper fractions and add them. correct? So what will we do? We will do 11 into 7, 77 plus 1, 78, 78 divided by 7 plus 8 2s are 16, 16 plus 5 is 21, 21 divided by 8. So here when you have to add these two, again you have to take the LCM. The denominator has to be the same. So you try to take the LCM and then solve it. But that is a lengthy process. So generally, whenever questions with mixed fractions come, the best way to solve will be to separate out the integer part and the fraction part. See, for example, if you have 1 by 2, what is this actually? 1 by 2 is nothing but I can say it is either 1.5, correct? Or I can also say it is 3 by 2, correct? 1.5. So basically what is 1 by 2? 1 by 2 is 1 plus 1 by 2, correct? So if it is 11 1 by 7, what can I say? 11 1 by 7 is nothing but 11 plus 1 by 7. You should be clear with this. Whenever you are given a mixed fraction, you can split the integer and the fractional part separately, okay? So how do we solve this? So 11 1 by 7, I can write it as 11 plus 1 by 7 plus 2 plus 5 by 8. I am just rewriting the given information like this, and always try to calculate the integers together, okay? Take the integers together, group them together, group the fractions together. So what will we get? 11 plus 2 is 13, 13 plus 1 by 7 plus 5 by 8, okay? Here you have to find the LCM, or we can just end up cross multiplying. That will be 8 plus 35 by, correct? 8 will go multiplying here with 8, here with 7 into 5, that is 35 divided by 8 7s are 56, or that is going to be 13 in 43 by 56, which is there in the options? Yes, option 3. I hope it's clear. As I said, whenever there is a mixed fraction that is given, try to group the integers in the fraction together and the fraction separately and calculate. So this is the smart way of calculating questions that come from mixed fractions, instead of trying to make them improper fractions and calculating. I hope this was clear, guys. Let's move on to the next. Now is next the most important thing, right? Decimals. So questions on decimals, very, very common in bank exams. Everywhere you can, like in the 5 questions that is asked, most of the questions will have decimals. So how do we go about solving questions which has decimals? Now the thumb rule, okay, to keep in mind whenever a question on decimal comes is, first look at the options what is given. See, sometimes let's say if the question is 243.25 plus 243.26 plus so and so etc. and the option is going to be a whole number. What does that mean? That means that they have approximated the values and found out the answer. So in that case, you also try to approximate whatever given information in the question is, whatever given numbers in the question is, and try to get the answer. But in some cases what they do is the options will be very close to each other. One option will be 174.25, one option will be 174.23, correct? And the question will also have decimal values. In that case, we should not approximate, because if we approximate, we will not get the correct answer. So depending on the question, you will have to choose what method you have to use to solve the question. Yeah, decimal calculations, yes, everybody struggles with decimals. So what we should do is you should know what is the method to be followed for that particular question. Now there are 2 or 3 ways in which you can solve decimal question. As I said, the first way would be to approximate the decimal to the closest whole number. Now let us say you have a decimal 21.25. Now you are going to approximate it, means what will you take it as? You will take it as 21. Why is that? Similarly, if you have 21.65, you can approximate it as 22. Okay, why is that? See, when the decimal part is greater than 0.5, like the decimal part starts with greater than or equal to 0.5, generally you approximate it to the closest bigger whole number. And when the decimal place starts with less than 0.5, okay, you approximate it to the smallest whole number which is close by. So let's say if it's 21.4, you write it as 21. If it is 21.5, you take it as 22. Okay. So I hope what I explained was clear. Anyway, I'll also show these things to you in a PPT so that it's better understood if what I said now was not clear. And That is one way of solving it. Now another way is to try and remove the decimal part. Like if the question has 21.50, correct? And sometimes calculations become easier when you remove the decimal part. How do you remove the decimal part? Multiply and divide the numerator and denominator with multiples of 10. Right? If it is 21.50, I can also write it as 2150 divided by 100. Correct? So sometimes writing it like that also will help us calculate the questions faster. Okay? So let me share my screen so that it's more clear as to what I was trying to tell you. Yeah. So as I said, approximate to the nearest whole number. So here see 123.24, you approximate it as 123. So as I said, if the decimal part, right, is 0.5, start like it's 5 or more than 0.5, right, you always approximate it to the next largest whole number. Similarly, if the decimal point is less than 0.5, it is 0.4, 0.2, then you approximate it to the lowest nearest whole number. Okay. Now as I said, now another way of doing it was, if it is 0.36, you can write it as 36 by 100. This will help us calculate faster. So for example, let us take a question so that it's more clear. Now let us look at the first question here. What is given? 50 divided by 5.5 into 44 plus question mark is equal to 620. So I'm just writing it like this, 50 divided by 5.5 into 44 plus question mark, I'm going to write it as x, that is equal to 620. Now instead of directly trying to simplify it here, how can I rewrite this? I can rewrite it as, see if I want to remove this decimal, okay. So what happens? I have to multiply the numerator and the denominator by 10. Correct. So if I multiply the numerator and denominator by 10, what happens? The numerator becomes 50 into 10, denominator will become 55, correct, into 44. So in this case, you can, 11 will go here in both the numbers. This will be 5, this is going to be 4. So 50 divided by 5 is going to be 10 plus x is equal to 620, or I can say 400 plus x is equal to 620, or x is equal to 620 minus 400, or that is equal to 220, correct? So what did we do here? See, we actually try to remove the decimal because that was the smart way of doing it. You can also divide 5.5 by 50, but unnecessarily there will be decimal points in the calculations which you can avoid. Here you should not go for approximations also, because if you approximate then you will get a 6 here. 5.5 you have to approximate it as 6. Again, not the correct way to do it. Right? So based on the question, we should decide how to solve it. If we consider it as 5, we will not get the exact answer, right? It is going to be slightly varying from 620. Again here, since the options are 220. So again here, since the options are not very close, but see here, yes, the options are close, right? You have 215, 225, 220. So you will not be able to decide correctly which is going to be the answer. So why do you want to approximate it and go wrong? If the options were like 180, 175, 220, 300, 400, then you know the answer is somewhere near 200 and you can approximate this as 5. But when the options are close, so when you approximate and try, you end up getting the wrong answer in this question because the options are close. So look at the options. Whenever the options are very close to each other, approximation might not be a good method. I hope it is clear to you what I just explained. Okay, now let's move on to the next question. So now let's move, the next question, a lot of you are giving me the answer as 941. Okay, let's see. Again, here you can approximate. Okay, why? See, again here you see all the question, in the question all the numbers have decimal points, but in the answer you see there are no decimals. So I think we can go with approximations. I am going to take, so 2.88 I am going to take it as 3. 3 squared into 56 squared divided by here 29.99. You can take it as 30, correct? So here what is 56 squared? Again, how do you calculate 56 squared? I am sure all of you have gone through our Speedmax video. There is a smart method to find squares of numbers, right? So to find 56 squared, how do we do it? It is nothing but 2500 plus 600 plus 36. I hope you all know this method, which is equal to 3136. Or do you want me to explain this? I hope that was clear. Okay, so 3136. Now 3 squared is 9, correct? So 9 into 3136 divided by 30. So 3 will go here 3 times. This is going to be 10, or this is going to be correct. So 3 into 3136 divided by 10. So what is 3 into 3136? It is going to be 9408. Okay, you can multiply and see, very easy multiplication, right? No harm in doing it. So 940.8, or you can take approximate it and take it as 941. So answer is 1. Yeah, so this question is clear. Now let's move on to the next question. Again a question which has decimals. Again here I don't think you need to approximate it. So like directly by removing the decimal you will get the answer faster. So how do we solve this question? So in 20 seconds you guys give me the answer. Okay, a lot of you are giving me the answer for this question. Let me solve. So how I'm just going to write 15 as 15 by 100. So I find this to be a very easy method. If you have a better method, you're always welcome to follow. Okay. So again, whatever is there in the bracket has to be solved first. Remember that you have to use the BODMAS rule, right? So do this first. Don't do 320 divided by 4 first. Why? Because according to BODMAS rule, whenever there is a bracket, whatever is given inside the bracket has precedence over everything else. So first try to solve this. So this is 0 and 0 gets cancelled. You know 15 by 10 is nothing but 3 by 2. Correct? Again here 32 by 2 is 16. So 16 into 3 is 48. 48 divided by 4 is equal to 12. On the right hand side, what do you have? You have 12 is equal to 3 into 2 to the power x. What is 12? 12 is equal to 3 into 4, or that is equal to 3 into 2 squared. So what is x? X is going to be 2. I hope it's clear. See, a very careless mistake that all of us can do here is first do, because in our mind it will be first we have to do division and then multiplication, and what we will do 320 divided by 4 first. Don't do that. Always do what is there inside the bracket first. Option 1 is right. Now let's move on to the next question. Again on mixed on fractions. Okay. So you have an off term here. As I said, off is nothing but multiplication. How do we solve this question? You have a proper fraction, a mixed fraction and a proper fraction. You have to add them. So how do we do it? Very easy question. Whatever is there in the bracket, let's do that first. So 5 by 9 plus 1 3 by 5. I'm just going to write it as 1 plus 3 by 5 plus 2 by 5. See, don't take pain and try to convert this mixed fraction to a improper fraction. So when we add it, what happens? You get 1 plus 5 by 9 plus 3 by 5 plus 2 by 5. Correct? Here 3 by 5 plus 2 by 5 is nothing but 5 by 5. That is equal to 1. So I can write it as 1 plus 5 by 9 plus 1, or that is equal to 2 plus 5 by 9. Am I correct? 2 plus 5 by 9. Or what is 2 plus 5 by 9? This you can simplify of x is equal to 621. Correct? So what is 2 plus 5 by 9? 2 plus 5 by 9 is plus 9. You have to multiply, right? Denominator has to be made the same. So multiply this thing by 9. So what do you get? 9 2s are 18. 18 plus 5, 23. 23 by 9 of x is equal to, of is nothing but multiplication, that is equal to 621, or x is equal to 621 into 9 by 23. Correct? All of you are getting this. Now see, here we know 23 into 2 is what? 23 into 2 is 62. Correct? So 23 into 20 is going to be 23 into what is 23 into 3? 23 into 3 is 690. Correct? So here we are getting 621, and since the answer is a whole number, definitely the 621 has to be divisible by 23. So 3 into what will give you 1 in the last digit? 3 into 7. Correct? 3 into 7 is 21. So what will happen here? 621 by 23, this will be 27. If you know it otherwise, no problem, but for those of you who do not know whether 621 is divisible by 23, that's how you check. See, we know what is 23 into 3, correct? See, if you are saying 23 into 2, that is going to be 46. 460, no, not, it is much different from 620, correct? So what is 23 into 3? That is nothing but 69. So 69 or 23 into 30 is 690. So 621 will be 23 into 27. How did I say it is 27? Because the last digit is 1. If the last digit is 1, when you multiply 3 with 7, then you get the last digit as 1. So I approximated that and took. Yeah? Yeah. So 27 into 9. That would be the value of x. or that is equal to 243. Correct, a lot of you got the answer. Here again 27 into 9, 7 9s are what? 7 9s are 63. So the last digit is going to be 3. At this point itself you can stop. You needn't actually calculate 27 into 9. You can take it as option 5. Yeah. So let's move on to the next question. Again similar question on fractions. Now you guys try this question and give me the answer. I am not going to solve it. It's same, exact same of what we did. 20 seconds. Do it fast. So what is the answer for this question? 252. Okay, see this question also, again in the same way you can solve, right? 4 by 7 plus, but there is a smarter way to solve this question. Can any of you tell me any other way in which you can solve this particular question? This is the correct method. I am not saying it's wrong. This is also faster, but there is an even faster method to get answer for this question. Can anybody say? Anybody solved it in some other way than by adding it like this? See, I'll tell you, 693, okay? Now 9 plus 3 is 12, 12 plus 6 is 18, correct? So this 693 is a number which is divisible by 9. Now let us look at the option and see if there are any of the numbers which are divisible by 9. If you see, only 252 is there which is divisible by 9. So I can directly say that's going to be the answer, right? This method is also correct. This is another easy way to solve the question. So again, by looking at the options and the question, sometimes you can solve it faster. So if you do it in this way, what do you get? 1 plus 4 by 7 plus 3 by 7, that is equal to, denominator is the same. So 4 plus 3 is 7. So this is 7 by 7 plus 3 by 4, correct? That is equal to 2 3 by 4. 2 plus 3 by 4 or 2 3 by 4, correct? So 4 2s are 8, 9 10 11, that is 11 by 4. 11 by 4 of x is equal to 693, or x is equal to 693 into 4 by 11. That's how we solved it. Now 693 will go in correctly in 11. How? 6 11s are 66. Again you have 3 balance, so 33, 63. So 63 into 4 is 252. Let's move to the next question. 3 by 5 into 8 1 by 3 plus question mark is equal to 4 cube. Again here it is whenever it is multiplication, convert it into improper fractions, because it will be very easy to cancel terms. Okay. So what is 3 by 5? 5 3s are 15. 15 plus 3 is 18, correct? 18 by 5 into 8 1 by 3. 8 3s are 24. 24 plus 1, 25. 25 by 3 plus x is equal to 4 cube. So if you write it this way, see, you can cancel the terms, correct? So that's why I have written it this way, 6. So 6 5s are 30. 30 plus x is equal to 4 cube. What is 4 cube? 4 4s are 16. 16 4s are 64. Or x is equal to 64 minus 30, or that is equal to 34. Very easy question. Answer is option 3. So for the one who asked me how to do with multiplication, that's how you do. So let's move on to the next question. This question has decimals. So let's see how to do when you have questions on decimals. See here in this question, as I said, whenever questions on decimals have options as well, here options also have decimals, correct? So in those questions we cannot go with approximation. It will be better that if we actually solve the question. Okay. So here, now let us try to solve this question without using, see, there are some calculations to be done here, right? 625 plus 625.75 plus 450.5 plus question mark into 3 by 5 is equal to 750. Now let us try to do these calculations in our mind without using a pen or a paper. Okay. See, I told you how to do additions, right? Same concept let's try to do with decimal numbers as well, adding of decimal numbers. Okay. Now first let me just write it like this for us, for you guys to understand better. In the actual exam you needn't write it like this. I'm just going to explain it to you, right? So this is 750 into 5 by 3. Okay, so this is 250. Here this is equal to 1250. Now you have to add these two numbers. How are we going to add it? See, you know what is 600 plus 400? 600 plus 400 is 1000, correct? Now here there is a 25 and here there is a 50. So 1000 plus 75, correct? 25 plus 50 is 75. So 1000 plus 75 is going to be 1075. Now there is a 0.75 and a 0.5. So when you add 0.75 and 0.5, what do you get? You get 1.25. So the answer for this is going to be 1076.25. Is it clear? I'll explain it. I'll just write down what I just said. See, to add these two numbers, what you can do is 600 plus 400. Okay. To that, you add 25 plus 50. Correct? There is this is 625. That is 600 plus 25. So I am adding 125 plus 50. So basically, this is 1000. This is 75. Now, here there is a 0.75 and here there is a 0.5. So 0.75 plus 0.5 is equal to 1.25. So what you have? 1075 plus 1.25, or that is going to be 1076.25. That's how I get this. Okay, so 1076.25 plus x is equal to 1250, or what is x? Just subtract. So everybody got the answer as 173.75, which is correct. So I hope it's clear. Let's move to the next question. 40% of 620 plus 65% of question mark is equal to 482. So how do we solve this? Again, an easy question. Okay, you can write it like this if you want. 40 by 100 into 620 plus 65 by 100 into x. Correct? So this and this gets cancelled. 0, 0 gets cancelled. You can do it this way also. Like 65 by 100, you know, is 13 by 20, right? We know it is 13 by 20. 5 will go in both, so that you can simplify it like that. So 62 into 4, that is going to be 248 plus 13 by 20x is equal to 482, or I can say 13 by 20x is equal to 482 minus 248. What is 482 minus 248? You will get it as 234. Am I correct? Yeah, I think that's correct. So x is equal to 234 into 20 by 13. So 13 will definitely go in this. 18 13s are 234 if I am right. So 18 2s are 360, correct. The option is there, 360. Okay, all of you got it correctly. Good. So let's look at the next question. Now here is a question with lot of decimal places. So how do we approach this question? Keep in mind that here in this question, there are decimal points in the question, but the answer doesn't seem to have any decimal places. So we can understand that they have tried and approximated the values. So you also try and take approximate values and try to solve the question. So how can we do it? Okay, will you guys give me the answer? Very fast, yeah, very easy question. So, and again, you needn't do the full addition and find the answer. Yes, somebody says better to add the unit place. Just approximate the values, right, and know what is the last digit. Add the last digit alone, you will get the answer. Yeah, let's see. So here, see what is 2341.98. I'm going to write it as 2342. Okay. Now 18625.01. So that I'm just writing it as 18625 itself. Correct. 0.01. Then 6225.16. You can write it as 6225. Then 3361.9, you can write it as 3362, correct? Actually, you didn't write the full number, just write the last digits when you are calculating. So here 2 plus 5 is 7, 7 plus 5 is 12, 12 plus 2 is 14. Which is the option that has 4 in the end? This one. Now, if there was one more option which had 4 in the end, then try to add the next set of digits also. Otherwise, you needn't, okay? So, less than 10 seconds, you should get the answer for this question. Hope it's clear. Now let's move on to the next question. Again, question on percentage. So look at the next question. So 36% of 170, right? What is that 36? See again, another way to approach these questions. Let us try to solve this question a bit differently, okay? Now, see 36% of 170. Now one way to do is, as we all know, 36 by 100 into 170, right? You can do it this way. Now, another way to approach this question would be, see, what is 30% of 170? What is, okay, well, first, what is 10% of 170? 10% of 170 is 17, correct? So, 30% of 170 is what? 17 into 3, that is equal to 51, correct? So, what will be 36% of 170? Now, see, you know what is 40% of 170, correct? 40% will be 51 plus 17, correct? So, when you are when you are adding each 10%, that means 17 is getting added. So, 35% will be what? 35% will be approximately plus 8.5, correct? So, I can say, see, 10% is 17, correct? 20 percentage is 17 plus 17. That's how we are doing. 30 percentage is 17 plus 17 plus 17. So what will be 35 percentage? 35 percentage will be 17 plus 17 plus 8.5. Correct? Or that is equal to, 17 plus 17 plus, one more 17 is there, plus 8.5, or that is equal to 58.5. Correct? So approximately I can say 36 percentage of 170 is 60. Can we take it like this? So if we take it like this, it will be easier to calculate this particular question. See, in some questions, try it that way also. That is also a smart way of solving the question. You can either solve it like this, 36 by 100 into 170, or these steps. See, none of these steps you need to write. I am just writing it down. In your mind, you can do that, right? 30 percentage of 170 is 51. So 36 percentage will approximately be 60. Correct? So how can I write this question now? If I approximate it like this, this will be 60 plus some percentage, right? Question mark. So I am putting it as x into 592 is equal to 150, or this can go here, 150 minus 60 is 90, or x is equal to 90 into 100 by 590. Correct? Now again here 592, approximate it as 600. Correct? You can take it as 600, 90 into 100, because dividing by 592 is going to be difficult. I am just going to take it as 600. So what do I get? 90 by 6, that is 15. Yeah, somebody has take 590. Now I am stuck at percentage of 592. Yes, approximate that and take it as 600 and see. 15. We arrived at 15. So that's good to go. So let's look at the next question. See, it is cube root of 5866 plus 2.33 into 3.98 plus question mark is equal to 45.66. Again, here I would go with approximations as it is easier to solve. So let cube root of 5866 be there. This 2.3 I am going to take it as 2, 3.98 I am going to take it as 4, plus x 45.66, let's take it as 46. Now how do you find the cube root of 5866? See, you know you would have learned how to find the cube roots, right? In Speedmax, in our Speedmax videos, you would have learned how to find the cube root of numbers. Now how I am going to take up this question is, see, we know what is 20 cube, right? 20 cube is, okay. Now this number, now again you know what is 15 cube. We know also 15 cube is 3375, if I am correct. So this value 586 is in between these two, correct? And since it is an even number, I am going to approximate it to 18 cube, and I am going to consider that 18 cube is approximately 5866. So cube root of 5866, I am going to take it as 18, correct? Yeah, I hope it's clear now. So this is what? 18 plus 4 2s are 8 plus x is equal to 46, or x is equal to 18 plus 8 is 26, or we can say x is equal to 20. Again, this is an approximation because this 18 cube I have approximated, correct? Again, definitely 18 cube will end with, see, 8 is multiplied 3 times, right? So 8 8s are 64, 64 into 8 will be, it will end with a 2 actually, but we are approximating it and taking it this way, so the answer will be 20. Let's now go to the next question. Root of 2916. So what is the root of 2916? See, what is 2916? That is nothing but 2500 plus 400 plus 16. That is 2916, right? So what will be the root of 2916? Tell me. Very easy, no? Using the method, that is the finding root, it is going to be 54. Correct? So root of 2916 is 54. Similarly, root of 729, all of us know that is 27. So 54 plus 27 is 81. 81 is equal to 3 to the power 18 minus some value. Let's say, take it as x. Now 81 you can write it as 3 to the power 4. Correct? So 4 is equal to 18 minus x. Just I am now looking at the powers and equating them. 4 is equal to 18 minus x means x is equal to 14. Answer for this is option 3. Yeah. So let's look at the next question. So the next question is again on approximations. Try this question and give me the answer. Again here, let's approximate and do. See, some questions are very tricky, but this question here, since it's very clearly given that all the options do not have decimals, we can directly take. A lot of you are giving me the answer as 200. So let's check. Somebody is saying 218. So 3.8 you can write it as 4 squared, correct? 14, 5.9 I am going to write it as 6. Okay, 14 I am going to take it as 14. So 16 into 14 minus 6, correct? Or that is equal to 16 into 14 is 224. 224 minus 6, that is equal to 218, correct? Or we can approximately take it as 220. Sorry, 200. 220 or so, but here the options, if you see, only 200 is there, closest one. So I am taking it as 200. Again, look at the options. So 218 was what we got, but there is no other option other than 200, which is closer to 218. So we take it as 200. Yeah, 216. Correct, we get 218. You use BODMAS only, no? First you do this, then minus 6. No close option to 218. So we have to go with 200. Next question. Again here, try to approximate. I think approximation will work for the next question as well. Try the next question. Somebody says 5, somebody says 5. None of these. 24. A lot of you are getting the answer as 24. Let's see. So again 12.11. Let's approximate it as 12. So let's write it as 12 squared plus x squared. Let's put it as x squared. Okay, is equal to 732. So x squared is equal to 732 minus 144. Correct. So 732 minus 144 is going to be 588. Correct? Am I correct? 588. So if it is 588, see we know 24 squared. What is 24 squared? It is 576. So, and 25 squared is 625. So the answer is between 24 squared and 25 squared. So we can approximately take it as 24.2. So answer is 2. We know 24 squared, so we approximate and take it as 24.2. So let's move on to the next question. See, those of you who had written the IBPS PO exam or was preparing for that would have definitely seen this question. Apparently this question was in the first shift. So again, I think the previous question was also part of the IBPS PO exam this time. Yeah. So let us look at this question. See, these are all very easy questions, no? Like mark scoring questions where you need very less time to answer. Yeah, so I am sure all of you would have seen this question. The first question that we all saw from IBPS PO in the first shift was this question. Let's see, again approximate this question, then it becomes very easy. See, root of 80.99, I am going to take it as 81. 25.001, I am going to take it as 25. Root of 120.98, I am going to take it as 121. Okay, 16.02, I am going to take it as 16. At this point, remember our BODMAS, don't forget BODMAS. Okay, if you don't use BODMAS here, we might end up making a mistake. Otherwise, a very simple question. Root of 25 is 5, root of 121 is 11. Okay, root of 81, 9 plus 4, correct? So 9 minus 5 11s are 55 plus 4, correct? So this is nothing but minus 9 minus 55 will be minus 46, minus 46 plus 4 is minus 42. Answer is minus 42. Mahata, minus 42. Yeah, a lot of you got minus 42 now. Good. So let's move on to the next question. Again, this was a question in the same IBPS PO exam this time. So how do we do this? 184 points. Again, approximate, easy to do. So how will you do this? 184 minus 29, you just take it as 30, correct? So that we can easily find 30 into this 29.99, you take it again as 30. Okay, so what will you get? 184 minus 6 into 30, or it will be 184 minus 6 is 178 into 30, that is equal to 5, so 178 into 3, right? Then you just put a 0, 5340. Just check if it's correct. Yeah, a lot of you are getting the answer as 5340. Good. So with this, we come to an end to the questions that we have chose for this session. So I hope the questions that we solved was clear. Any doubts in the questions that we took up? Any question you did not understand? See, as I said, all these are questions that have been previously asked, and as I said, the strategy to be followed for each question will be different, but as we practice, we will know what to use for a particular question. As I said, always keep in mind these three things: the BODMAS rule, how to solve fractions, and then how to work with decimal numbers. And other than this, you should also know like the powers, right? Like say a raised to m into a raised to n is equal to a raised to m plus n. All these will also be very helpful for you while solving a few questions. Similarly, some algebraic expressions, right? A plus b the whole squared. If you know the algebraic expressions, that will also definitely help you. Yeah, so that is about today's session, guys. So all the very best with your preparations. Yeah, I'll see you in the next session. So this is bye from Gayatri till then. Bye.